Hi skaters, welcome to our bun making tutorial. I'm going to walk you through how to do a bun that's appropriate for practice or competitions. So as you can see, here are the things that you're going to need. Some important things. You're going to need some hairspray. You're going to probably want some water in a spray bottle in order to tame some of the flyaways. Obviously, you're going to need a hairbrush with some good elastic bands. Bobby pins, and lots of them. There are two different types of bobby pins. Either will do, so don't worry about that. Try to match your bobby pins and critically your hairnet that should look like this to your hair color, okay? So you want a thin colored hairnet that's going to match your hair. And then especially for competitions, you might want to get some hair gel to really secure that hair back without flyaways. So here we go. You start with your hair down, obviously have it nicely brushed. I've started with hair in a nice high ponytail. The height of your bun is going to be determined by where you place your ponytail. Typically you want it at the crown of the head, so you want it up here, so you can see the side, the space underneath, but also at the top. If you wanted a more elegant looking bun, maybe a little bit more sophisticated and older, you'd probably place your ponytail down here and do a lower bun. But typically you want it up here at the crown of your head. There are lots of other bun making items that you can see. You've probably seen these before. They're called a donut. I'm not going to use this today, but they can be helpful if your skater has short or very thin hair, because it's going to actually make the bun look a little bit bigger. So I can show you at the end what that might look like, but I'm just going to do a standard bun here. So we have a nice ponytail, hair's brushed out, ponytail's nice and secure, and then we're going to start by just doing a gentle twist of the hair. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then as we twist, we're gonna roll the hair around and to make the bun shape. So twist as you roll. If you get little puffs like that, it's okay. The idea with a bun is you actually want it to be somewhat flat to the head. So you don't want it to stick out too much. That's where one of those donut things are actually gonna make the bun look quite big and stick out from the head. If you see things like this pop up, it's not a big deal. You can try to firm them out, but you know what's gonna really help that is your hairnet. So don't worry too much about that. So I'm gonna keep twisting around until I get to the bottom here. I'm gonna actually maybe flatten these as I go, and I'm gonna take this little tail and I'm just gonna tuck it underneath. Hold it with one hand, tuck on the other hand. Do you see it doesn't look super perfect right now, but that's okay. With one hand, I'm gonna just hold it in place. You can also put a couple bobby pins in place to hold it at this stage. So if that helps you, take a couple bobby pins and just stick them in the bun in order to hold that in place to give yourself some freedom of hand movement. Then you grab your hairnet, put it over your hand like so, grab it with one hand, secure, and then what you're gonna do is like a figure 8. You're gonna twist and you're gonna do that again. You're gonna tuck all of those little ends underneath and you're gonna flatten that bun out. You actually want it to try to stick semi-close to the head. You don't want it to be too stuck out. So if I'm gonna flatten that as I tuck the ends of that hairnet in, now is the pinning. So now all you wanna do is you wanna pin, and it's gonna take more bobby pins than you think. That's okay. The more pins, the better. So you can use, again, either style of bobby pin. If you're using this style of bobby pin, this bent part goes below, so the flat edge up. You're gonna spread it out a little bit, and you're gonna stick it in and pin. And you want it secure. And again, as I'm doing that, I'm actually kind of pushing the bun down. I'll show you the other style. So we have these styles. Sometimes it's personal preference. I grab the net and the hair and I pin. So if you kind of see this side, I'll show you a little bit closer up. Again, this one is quite a firm bobby pin, so I'm gonna open it a little bit. I'm gonna grab up here so I get a little bit more of the hair and push it in. Nice and secure. And you don't want those to kind of come out. If you see little tails of the hairnet, that's okay. We're gonna do that. So if you want to do them, sometimes I go from side to side to even out the bun. But what you're going to do is the more pins, the better. You're going to basically pin all the way around this bun. It's going to be very secure. That way, as you're skating, nothing's going to come out. Nothing's going to fly away. It's going to be nice and secure. So just keep pinning. Again, either style of bobby pin is fine. Up here. All the way around. Try to make it somewhat symmetrical and even as you go. If you think you have enough bobby pins, you probably don't. That's always the rule. You always need more. More is always better. You really want to make sure it's secure. And we're almost done. If I see any missing spots, I'll always go over it at the end. I always look all the way around the bun and make sure there's basically an even placement of bobby pins and that they go all the way around the bun. Almost done. It's looking pretty good. Okay, I always kind of give it a little jiggle. Looks pretty good, looks pretty secure. I did, prior to when I started the bun, when it was in a ponytail, I gave it some hairspray. I always give it some more hairspray at the end, including the bun portion, so give it a good spray. Cover the eyes. Spray all the way around. If you're doing a competition, it's good practice to put a little hair gel on there as well. So again, on your hand, rub it around your hands, secure all those flyaways back. If your skater has bangs, you can either leave your bangs down, make sure again you use the flyaways, or if there's little ones, you can actually use bobby pins or pins to secure up here in the head. And then often your beautiful costume might come with a hairpiece, or it might come with a scrunchie like this. So that's the last finishing touch. Always do your bun first, secure with lots and lots of pins, hairspray, then you can put your scrunchie over top. If you have good elastic in your hair scrunchie, it should stay just like that. If you wanted to throw a couple pins in there as well, you can, but otherwise, all done. Hi skaters, I'm just going to add a little addition to our tutorial to show you a little bit about this, which is called a donut or a bun maker. Has lots of different names. You've probably seen or maybe have seen something like this before. I typically wouldn't recommend using one of these donuts, but if your skater has particularly thin or short hair, it does help to add volume to the bun to make it look a little bit bigger. They do come in different sizes. So I do recommend kind of the medium size here, probably nothing too big, otherwise your bun will look really, really big. So again, it's just to help provide some volume in case your skater has thin or really short hair so that the bun doesn't look really, really, really tiny. As you can see, this skater here has nice long hair. I wouldn't typically use this, but I will show you a little bit of an adaptation in terms of how to use a bun if you have one of these and need to use it. As you can see, we started with a ponytail here. Same thing, we're gonna start with a high ponytail around at the crown of the head. And there's a little bit of flyaways, so typically what I would do is you have your little water bottle handy in order to give a little spray, tame those back, and again some hairspray if needed to tame those. We'll do one again at the end. So all you do is you kind of take this, put your fingers through, you're going to actually just feed it right through the ponytail like so. Here becomes the tricky part, in which case you probably want to have another elastic band handy for this. Now this skater again has really long hair, so it's even a little bit more tricky to do this. So what you're going to do, the easiest thing is probably just try to separate the hair into two here. The idea behind the donut is you just take the hair and spread it all the way around. If you can see here, then it looks a little bit like a donut or a bagel. And so you want the hair to cover that the donut maker itself, so you don't see a lot of it. Now, typically, if your skater has shorter hair, this won't be as difficult to manage. So you're going to hold it there, and then to secure, often you're going to put either an invisible elastic or an elastic band around it to hold it in place. Well, see, I didn't do a very good job of that. Hold it down and elastic band in place to try to secure, so you start with that. Once you're at that stage, you're going to take all of the leftover hair. Again, your skater, if you're using one of these, probably doesn't have this long hair, so it's a little bit easier to manage, but then you're going to start to wrap the hair around and tuck it underneath. This is, you can see very quickly why I wouldn't use something like this for this particular skater's hair, because you're going to end up with a lot of long hair that has to hide underneath the donut itself. And as you can see, as we build this up, and it's looking a little bit messy, that it just makes the bun higher and more full. So again, that could be something that you're after depending on how your skater's hair is, but you don't want it to be too big. And again, even if you're using one of these, I'd still recommend that you use a hairnet to capture all of these. So again, this isn't ideal for this skater's hair, but just to show you how it works, everything else would be exactly the same in the tutorial. You wrap your hairnet around twice, you tuck it underneath, and then you start pinning. And you start pinning just like a clock. You could start 12, 6, 3, 9, and then everywhere in between to secure it. So that's kind of what it looks like and how it's gonna look. Again, for potentially skaters that have really thin or really short hair that you want a little bit more volume.